Hi, it's Ryan Scher here with PCDJ Red Mobile 3, and this is an introduction video to this brand new release of the Red Mobile platform. This replaces Red Mobile 2. It is a major foundational core upgrade to the software, an upgrade in every sense of the word, and truly the foundation for our next 5 to 10 years of updates. This is a free upgrade for Red Mobile 2 customers. Simply download the demo of Red Mobile 3 from PCDJ.com. If installed to the same machine that Red Mobile 2 is already on, it will open up in full version mode. It will not, however, overwrite it. As I said, this is new in every sense of the word, so it doesn't overwrite the previous release. This is a separate install. Now let's jump right into it. The purpose of this video is obviously a quick start, get you rolling and using Red Mobile 2 or Red Mobile 3 as fast as possible. So quickly, a description. Red Mobile 3 is a 2-deck software. The target market for this software is mobile DJs. Pretty simplified interface. Everything you need to get the job done without a lot of screen clutter. So this is kind of a traditional 2-deck layout. You got your deck A, your deck B, your mixer section, as well as some toggles here too for cue points and loops. You have EQs that come up by default, but you can toggle using these buttons through your different effects. These will toggle cue points and loops, and that's really it. And then, of course, key lock and all your regular transport control functions such as play, cue, sync, which will match beats for you, of course, on BPM. Match will simply match tempo based on BPM, and all the other things, pitch bend, so you can bend nudge the song back on beat, and other functions here such as load. You got your dial here, your jog wheel that spins and rotates as you play. And basically, the one thing I want to point out that's highly different from Red Mobile 2 is this new graphics engine, this skin here, will dynamically resize to fit any display. So what we have is a really high resolution scan that will scale to any display. So when you open it up, unlike Red Mobile 2, it should fit your screen perfectly. So you got your transport control area in each deck. You've got this new bar here. This bar, most of these functions used to be located across the bottom of Red Mobile 2. They've been relocated to above the browser, mainly because of how this dynamically resizes the browser as well to fit out the entire screen. So you have your Mix Now button. As usual, you've got your library filters, and by that I mean if you're in any list that contains both audio and karaoke files, by clicking audio, you're going to be assured that all you're seeing is audio. Click karaoke, and everything you're going to see in front of you is going to be karaoke files. All will show all. You've got your record function. You've got your view karaoke button, which will launch the floating karaoke lyrics window, which can be sent to screen too. Now there will be other videos in this playlist you'll want to watch that will touch on some of these things in greater detail, but for now we're just going to do a general overview. You got your sort button to sort your lists, and I'll show you why that's important now instead of just header sort, although you do have that option still in your Excel view mode for the library. Move songs up and down. You can also drag and drop now. And then a quick library preview if you wanted to preview a track before loading to the deck. You can do that as well with your library case player by just hitting preview. And then shuffle will randomize your list, or rather shuffle play your list. Randomize will just randomize the order of the list for autoplay. You have your learn function for mapping the interface, and of course auto mix. To automatically play through your new waitlist, side list, which we'll show you in a second. Down here is your browser. Now, so you can see it, this is probably one of the biggest changes to the software is how the browser works. So you have some new icons and stuff to define your different sections of the library. Database is your master list. Special lists includes history and search results, and some other things will be coming down the line for that, including a suggestion list. User lists are created playlists, customized lists that you generate yourself. You can either generate them from folders on your drive like DEX or rather Red Mobile 2, or you can manually create them in the software by just dragging files from search or other lists into your user-created list. iTunes, as usual, will dynamically populate your library, providing you have iTunes on the machine. The software is optimized for iTunes 12 and up. It will automatically pick up your playlist, providing that iTunes playlists on your hard drive are stored in the default location iTunes stores them. You have favorites, which is a function that most people will probably want to use in Red Mobile 2 to add their folder from their drive as favorites, so they're nested as groups. And then, of course, because I'm on Windows here, we have Explorer. On a Mac, this would be Finder, which just allows you to navigate your hard drive or any connected drive. So that is kind of what you're looking at. Now, to show you how this browser differs, and something that I'm sure Red Mobile 2 customers will be pretty excited about, we'll just open up. I'm just going to go to my D drive. I've got my major tunes folder here. I'm going to go to my tunes folder for my D drive. Now you can expand it here and you can see the subdirectories, of course, but I can add this entire folder to favorites. And what's happened now, if I go up here, I can just compress Explorer. You'll see tunes under favorites. So you see now that this is populating here in the middle when I click on it. So if I go down, added some new music just today. We'll go to the iDJ pool. And as you see, you've got these new blocks of information for your songs, which support album art and everything else. And here's where the sort button comes into play too. When you click sort, it's going to sort this list by what you select. I can sort by key. I can sort by all the usual options, and it will highlight when you sort whatever you're sorting by. So if I sort by artist, the artist will highlight so you can easily look down and see the option you're looking for. So you see that you have three sections of the browser now. You've got your navigation pane where you can nest your folders as favorites. You've got your middle section of the browser which shows you the contents of whatever list or folder directory you have open on the navigation pane. And you have this new section over here, which is one of the biggest fundamental changes. This is your waitlist. If I was to double click a track, it'll just pop up over there, as you can see. Just double click, or you can drag and drop and populate the waitlist. So that's one of the big changes here, is that you've got three sections of the browser instead of just two. And this operates as not only your real-time waitlist, but also as a basic singers list now for karaoke. So you can just highlight songs in the list and hit delete on your keyboard. It will remove them, or you can just click the remove button. If you click on a song, hit remove, it will remove it. That's another way. You can hit clear, it'll clear the entire list. But that's it. It's as simple as clicking tracks. Now, say you have a created user list, a playlist that you pre-created that's not loaded into the side list here. You can go to that particular list. Let's just pretend this is a user list right now, and right click in here, and you'll see an option from the drop down menu to send all to side list, auto mix list right here. That will populate the entire side list with everything here. Why is that important? Well, auto mix, when you enable auto mix now in Red Mobile 3, it's going to play through this list in order. Songs will be removed as they're played. So you will see them disappear. And that just means that you're able to browse your folders, playlists, and everything else. Use search while the waitlist is still active and always viewable, always visible here. Now, one other quick thing, and like I said, there will be other videos. We have a few videos created already that show you how to batch BPM scan and things like that within the browser. But for the sake of getting started here, just want to show something. I know some people are still fond of the old Excel style layout in the browser. That is still possible, and it's this easy. You right click in the middle section of the browser. It doesn't matter if you have a track highlighted or not, it'll automatically highlight it when you right click. And from the very last option on the drop-down menu, you have something that says toggle view mode. Click that. Now, as you see, it gives you that Excel style layout where you can resize fields. You can right click on here and choose which fields to show and display. And you can do the same thing for the waitlist. You can toggle the view mode there and have two sections with that Excel style layout with fields here. So we'll toggle it back because I do prefer this more visible, let's say Word versus Excel style look to the library. It's also very handy if you do have a touchscreen interface. The library has already been optimized for touchscreens and has different zones versus like dragging a file up or scrolling through your library. So that's really good. And that's one fundamental thing here too I should mention is that the code that's used for this software is 100% custom. It's not relying on Windows or Mac for that matter. The code is basically deployable to any OS. So the library, as you see it, will be very similar to the library that will ultimately be on tablets for the software. So it's already designed kind of to be tablet friendly, to be touchscreen friendly. So let me just tell you a couple other things about creating lists. If you want to create like a custom user list, now I hope everyone got the add to favorites function. You can basically add any folder as a favorite. If you go through Explorer and navigate to a folder on your drive, you can right click on it. Say I want my dance folder to be a favorite. I can just right click, add to favorites. And as you see under favorites, now I have both tunes and my dance folder. So that's one great thing that's different from Red Mobile 2 as well, is that any folder or directory you browse through Explorer or Finder in the software, if you open that folder one time within the software in any session, the contents of that folder will be added to the internal search cache and database. All that means is that any folder you browse one time in the software at any point, the files within that folder will be searchable. So for people that have, really organized hard drives and they nest their folders as favorites, and they open that folder one time under favorites, or not even under favorites if they just navigate through Explorer, those files will now be searchable. In the past, it was necessary to add all your files to the database or a playlist. That's no longer the case. You can simply add your folders as favorites. If you've opened the folder, it's now searchable. It's obviously something you'll want to do anyway for browsing, for just browsing and digging through your various directories and folders on your drive for that perfect track. The other thing is, if you do have a lot of subdirectories, like I know some people have artist folders, and then inside those artist folders, they have album folders. So that's a lot of directories within directories within directories. So to open each one of those would be pretty cumbersome to make sure that they're searchable. So you still have the option, like say my tunes folder here, it has all these subdirectories. I can do two things. I can just add the entire folder to the database, which will ensure that every single subdirectory and everything is searchable because it's all going to be in the database as kind of your master list. I can send my whole hard drive to the database, which is what a lot of people do. If I go to my E drive or D drive, let's see, actually, we'll go back to my D. If I right click on my D drive, I can add to database. That will add the entire directory and any directory and folder underneath of it, whether it's audio or karaoke, to the database master list. Some people prefer, however, not necessarily to use this Explorer favorite style where it maintains subdirectory structure. You have a third option. I can right click on tunes and use the new playlist from folder function, which was present in Red Mobile 2. It'll tell you when you right click and say add new playlist from folder, a new playlist was created based on the selected folder. If I hit OK, I can go up to, let's just close all this stuff. Under user lists, I have my tunes folder. So if I click on this, it's probably still populating because I have quite a bit of music in there. But I'll scroll to the bottom. Oh, actually, it's done. So that particular folder has 4,290 files, and that's it. So I just generated a user list from my tunes folder, and it added every single file and every folder beneath it to the one level to tunes. So you can do any combination of these things depending on how you work as a DJ throughout your gig, through your night, whatever, through your set. So user lists, you can create them like that. You can generate them right off your hard drive. Or the other option would be to right-click on user lists and say new playlist. Gig, name it. So now we've got an empty user list. Now I can drag files from any other area, from search. If I type in a search and I wanted to add this to my user list, I can just drag and drop over top of tunes. You'll get a little plus sign that indicates you're okay to drop it. So I'm just dragging these files over. Now if I go click on tunes, well, actually I should have been setting up to Ryan's gig, so we'll try that one more time. Let's see, and we'll just drag to Ryan's gig, Ryan's gig. And obviously I left tooltips on, which are these little pop-ups you're seeing. You can disable that in options, which I will show you in a second here. So I've sent 3 songs to Ryan's gig, and there they are. I click on it, there they are. Now you can reorder these. You can just drag and drop and move them up and down if you want to. So one other really cool way to create user lists that I found that a lot of our users have figured out is they'll use the side list to build playlists, because you can see them populating. So they'll be, say they're in tunes, and they're just creating, hey, I want to add this song. This is a great track too. We'll play this one after that one. And they'll build the side list up the way they envision their set to be. Obviously, sets are usually organic, and you try to mix based on crowd reaction and reading the audience, of course, but no problem creating a playlist to at least work from. So you get your playlist here created, say this is populated with a bunch of tracks. You can use your standard keyboard functions to select track ranges. So I can just select the very top track, hit shift, hold down shift and click the top track, or rather this way, and go all the way to the bottom and hold it. So basically you click the top track, hold down shift or control, which will allow you to click multiple tracks, and click the very last track. So now that I've got my playlist created, I can just drag over here and drop it, and there we go. We've just created a playlist that is stored forever. This will always be present every time you open the software based on the side list you created. So one little thing too here, and we'll touch on some more of the library functions in some of these other videos. Just want to make sure you guys get a handle on this to just get started. So one thing that's really cool about the side list too, obviously you can drag and drop and reorder. Just drag that to the top. But say you have a really long list here and somebody just made a request and you're like, you know what, I want to play that next. So we'll add a couple more songs so you see. So we'll scroll down here. This song, yeah, I want to play that next. So instead of having to drag and drop to the top of the list, simply double click it. And what you'll see is Bob Sinclair just moved to the top of the list. It's that easy. Makes it also easy, once again, if you're using a touchscreen, just double tap a track, it goes to the top of the list. So if I gauge auto mix or manually play, obviously you can, to get songs into the DEX, you have various different ways you can do it. You can just drag and drop right into the deck, right into the jog wheel area. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Or you can right click on the track and choose to load to deck 1, load to deck 2. Or you can engage auto mix. I'm going to do that right now. So what you see the software doing, it will take the first track from the list, load it to deck B, and start playing it. When it's finished, it already took the second track and put it into deck A. So quickly, we'll just show you how this works. We'll just go to the end of the track. We'll mix over to the opposite deck and load your next track. So like so, it's just going to go play through your side list in the order you have it, going from track to track to track seamlessly, blending the tracks with nice radio smooth style transitions. You can also use the load button in the deck, so you can click on any song in any list You can just click it, if it's on the side list, search results, or from any of your opened user lists or favorited folder or Explorer or Finder. You can just click on a song and hit the load button in the deck. Just like this. Just click it, highlight it, boom, load the track. And it'll load up the nice little pretty waveforms too, along with it. And also calculate BPM. So if you haven't already pre-calculated BPM, which is as simple as right-clicking in any list and choosing Analyze All, it'll automatically scan for BPM, generate it, and write it to the information in the library, to the database automatically. So you also have kind of a semi-automatic mode here, which I know a lot of mobile guys like, is this Mix Next function. Mix Next does just that. If I click it, it's going to start a deck, and then it's going to load your next track. So think of it kind of like auto mix, manual auto mix. So if I want to play my next track, let's do this. Shorten this down. I can just hit Mix Next. It's going to go mix over to the other deck. And what will happen is after it's finished mixing over, it'll load your next track from the side list, as you just saw. So basically the only difference between that and auto mix is you're initializing the function to mix over and pull the next track by clicking the Mix Next button. So I know that was a lot of data for the library, and hopefully you guys got a pretty good handle on this. And some of the other videos throughout our YouTube channel and the Red Mobile 3 playlist, I'm sure will help you immensely with some of this stuff. One other thing I should touch on real quick in the library is just how you can search. You can use search string style searching. Like if I wanted to search for that Meghan Trainor song right there that's showing Dear Future Husband, I can type in a part of her name and then part of the track name. It doesn't matter what part, and it'll find it. You also have some pretty cool functions if you want to search for, say, key of a track. I can type in K to tell the software we want to search for key, and type in the key. So I put K and a B. As you see, we've got any song in the key of B that's showing up. So if I want to search for BPM, I can put in a B and then the BPM I'm looking for. Just like that. Now if I want to look for a year, I can type in Y, 2000. Anything in 2000. Now if I don't type the last digit for 2000, if I type the last digit, it's going to look for only songs in the year 2000. If I type in just 200, it's going to look for any songs between 2001 to 2009. So that's a little hint for better searching and trying to find songs in key, BPM, or year, and then using search string searching. So quickly, we'll jump into settings, which is another really important aspect of getting started with the software. Click to get into settings. Click the little gear icon in the right corner, top right corner of your screen. You've got your close application function, you've got your minimize button, and you've got your configuration options. So click the configuration options button, the little gear icon, and it'll open up your preferences. So by default, we've got one skin. There will probably be other skins created. We have a brand new skinning software, Skin Designer, that makes it easier than ever for people to create and submit skins. So be on the lookout at PCDJ.com. Use the search function. Look for Red Mobile 3 skins. And if we get any submissions, we will post them up on the site for download, most likely to the blog. This is where you select your user interface. And obviously, we're selecting the default interface here. This is where you can turn off or show hints. This is exactly what it says, reset deck after load. What that means is, say you adjust EQ, volume, tempo, anything like that. When you have this checked, it will reset that to default, to everything to neutral position, basically, when loading the next track. Reset pitch after auto mix. Same kind of thing. This is only really relevant when you have beat mixing matching when auto mix is on. So if beat matching when auto mix is on, it will attempt to mix the songs on beat through your side list. And then you could have it to where it'll slowly reset the pitch back to neutral, to 0, after it's done mixing to the next deck. So that way you can probably do a different track range or different range of BPM while auto mixing. Use slow pitch reset. That's just very descriptive of what it does. There's a little button on the deck right here, as you can see with my mouse, that will reset the pitch, the tempo slider, if you've got key lock on, back to 0 slowly. So if I click it, it'll slowly bring the track back to neutral, to the set BPM of the actual track, and not whatever you've got the tempo fader set to. Remember history. That's a pretty descriptive one as well. We have a history list in the software, which I didn't touch on, but I will touch on another video, that basically logs every track you play, a date and time stamps them as well. So you'd always want to pretty much have this on. I know people like to go back and see what they mixed in a particular night, especially if it was good. And then, of course, you can create a playlist from it, and store it indefinitely as its own playlist. Remember song equalizer settings. Now this will actually remember, if you adjust the EQ on a particular track, it will remember it for that track. So every time you reload that song, it'll go back to those EQ settings that you set for it. So, which is handy if you got some songs that maybe aren't recorded, or maybe they're older recordings and you want to EQ them a little differently, that will remember the setting. This is a handy feature. You should always have this on, really. Use perceptual automatic gain. All that boils down to is automatic gain. It does it based on how the human ear detects loudness. That's why it's perceptual. So in short, it should make sure that all the music you play plays back at the same volume level. Disable automatic queuing. You really want this checked, because what this function does, which is a little different than some software, is it tries to queue up to a part of the song that's the best mix-in point. So sometimes that's not the true beginning of the song, especially if the song has a long intro. It will queue up past that long intro to the first really solid beat of the track, or where it thinks the best mix-in point is. This is really good if you're using beat mixing, matching when auto mix. If you have that on, you really want this on too, because it will pick better places within the track to beat mix into others. But if you're just manually mixing, you want to disable this. Search in the middle of the words. This is a feature we added really for karaoke hosts, mainly because some of their file names, with most karaoke tracks, especially if you're using zip files, they have some file names with no spaces within the middle of the song. Like it'll be, disc ID underscore track ID underscore name of the song, and then another dash after it, or hyphen, and something else like a track number or something like that. So we added this mainly for karaoke hosts. If you're having any issues searching your karaoke tracks, you probably want to check this off, because it will search in the middle of words, basically, for those, especially if you're searching by ID, track ID, disc ID, that kind of thing. So over here, we have your auto mix fade time. That's just telling the software how long it should take to fade from one track to another while auto mix is enabled. So it'll take 6 seconds to do the fade, which is usually a nice default, but you can play with that however you please. Auto mix track limit. This is really, for lack of a better way to put it, we call this the gentleman's club feature, or strip club feature. This basically allows or tells the software to mix to the next track during auto mix after a set amount of time. So instead of mixing on the end of the track, like it traditionally does, it will mix after 1 minute and 30 seconds into the next track. So if you want the software to mix to the next song every 3 minutes, you can set this to 3 minutes. So 3 minutes in, it will just mix to the next track no matter where it's at. Pitch tempo range, another self-explanatory one. This will adjust how far the range in the deck goes. If you're moving the pitch fader, it can go, I think the default is 16%, but you can go all the way up to 50% up and down in your range. So you can, makes it easier to mix files of very greatly different BPMs, because you have a lot of range in your pitch and tempo here, up to 50%. This adjusts your filter. There's a filter knob in the effects module section on the skin, and this just adjusts what it does. If you just want it to be a high pass filter, you can do high pass, low and high pass, or just low pass. So you got 3 adjustments for the filter control. Crossfader curve, once again, self-explanatory. A hard fade is like a quick cut. If you're using a DJ controller, and Red Mobile 3 does support 70 different DJ controllers right now, and you want to do more scratching and things like that, usually use a hard cut. Normal's fine for almost mixing any type of music with nice blends. And then you have a really long crossfader curve. Some people that mix, do a lot more blending, let's say, trance and stuff like that, they might want to use a really soft crossfader curve. Now, the next tab in preferences is audio. Now, by default, your onboard sound card is most likely going to be selected here. Obviously, if you're using a DJ controller, and I will touch on a little bit more on this tab, you would select the DJ controller's built-in audio interface, or if you're using a high-quality professional audio interface with multi-channel drivers, which would be ASIO most likely on Windows, Core Audio on a Mac, you would want to select that output device because you get higher performance. You can run lower latencies. As an example, I'll choose my Denon DJ ASIO driver here. And as you see, and I can adjust the latency down to about 5.8 milliseconds utilizing the Denon control panel. But this allows you to send deck A to 1, 2, and 3, 4. I don't actually have it plugged in right now, so we're not going to see that, but let me see if this one's option is here for this so you can see it. So there we go. This particular sound card only has a single out, but you can use deck B through 3, 4. Basically. So what I'm saying is if you use an external mixer or your DJ controller has one built in, a lot of times it's as simple as selecting 1, 2 for deck A, 3, 4 for deck B. And if you're using it like a physical mixer, you would leave headphones on none. In the case of some DJ controllers, however, you would pick the built-in driver, you'd pick the device, usually it has the name of the manufacturer as the device, and then you would select 1, 2, 1, 2, and headphones would be 3, 4. You'd have a 3, 4 out. This only has a mono option because it's a single output sound card. But in the instance of a multi-channel sound card or an audio interface built into your DJ controller, it's one of those two options. It's either deck A 1, 2, deck B 3, 4, and the mixer works as a physical external DJ mixer, or it works as a digital mixer, and in that case, it would be 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4 for headphones. If you use two sound cards, which is kind of an old way of doing things but does still work, you would pick your built-in sound card or your normal built-in sound card for the select audio interface. You'd leave all these on the defaults here, just how they are. 1, 2, 1, 2, none. And then for additional headphone device, you'd pick your secondary sound card. I don't have one connected, but you'd be able to see it in the drop-down menu as another option, and you'd select that. So that would be used for headphone queuing exclusively. You'd have your main out of your built-in sound card, and the secondary sound device would be for headphone queuing exclusively. So we'll touch a little bit more on this. We do have some other videos already uploaded for DEX 3 that apply here perfectly to Red Mobile 3 as well. You may want to look at. It's titled DEX 3 controller configuration. So you can look at that and further figure out how to enable the right proper audio interface and proper configuration for your audio interface. Bottom line is you do want to invest in a high quality sound card, a professional grade sound card using ASIO drivers on Windows, Core Audio on Mac. You'll get better performance out of the software in general, higher performance, lower latencies, and it'll sound better. All right, so the third thing is the control tab. Now, I don't have one connected right now. I could easily connect the device. It would show in here. The great thing about Red Mobile 3 is that any of the supported controllers we support, which again, there's 70 of them, you can find them under the DJ software tab at PCDJ.com. The DJ software menu, just select DJ controllers to see a full list of currently supported devices. We update that all the time. You don't have to do anything. Controllers that we support, that we've written in native support for, those are zero configure. Providing you have the drivers for your device, installed on your machine. In many cases on Mac, there are no drivers, just plug and play. Make sure your device is on and plugged in. And when you fire up Red Mobile 3, it should detect your device. You don't even have to go into preferences and just work. The only thing you have to manually configure at that point is under the audio tab here and your audio outputs. So that's the only manual configuration, and sometimes you don't even have to do that. Like for the Denon MC6000, for instance, that I have here, it'll automatically configure the audio outputs exactly how you need them. So that's literally zero configure anything. In some cases, depending on the sound device, you do have to go under here and manually configure the sound card. But the controller itself, once again, it's going to be picked up on opening the software and will just work. So that's kind of a general overview of settings, the library, the browser. We're going to start feeding you this information through other tutorial videos throughout the course of the next few months. Updates will be plentiful and often. We'll email you when they're available. All updates, as usual, going back to the first release of DEX 2, are going to be free moving forward for our customers. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment in the section below here on the YouTube channel, and feel free to browse the other videos. And you can contact our support staff through PCDJ.com if you have any further questions or issues. Thanks.